Hello everyone and welcome to the Rock Dojo. My name is Brian Parham and I'll be your guitar sensei. I'm so excited to kick off the 10-day guitar Jumpstart. Over the next 10 days, Monday through Friday, so basically the next 2 weeks, Monday through Friday, I'll be providing you with free micro lessons. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on the description, click on the link in the description and get your free PDF. The PDF is going to walk you through the entire 10-day guitar Jumpstart. And this is really for people who have thought about playing the guitar and just for whatever reason never made that leap. Or maybe you know a chord or a riff and you really haven't gotten started. You haven't put it all together. Well, I put together the 10-day guitar Jumpstart. So for the next 10 days, once again, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks, I'm going to be providing 10-minute micro lessons plus a free PDF. So up first, we're going to be talking about how to choose the right guitar for you. So let's dive in. Today, how to choose the right guitar. Let me get the right height here. Okay, so the first question is, do you want to go acoustic or do you want to go electric guitar? Well, that's going to depend on what you want to do with your guitar playing. What type of guitar player do you want to become? If your heroes are Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, lead guitar players, you're probably gonna want to get an electric guitar if you want to rock out. On the other hand, let's imagine you want to sing and strum around the campfire. Well, you're probably going to want to go with an acoustic guitar. Let me just show you the different sounds. So here's what an electric guitar sounds like. So that's the sound of the electric guitar. This is my favorite electric guitar in the world, by the way. Meet my favorite electric guitar. It actually was my first electric guitar. It's a Fender made in Mexico Stratocaster. It's a 60th anniversary. I probably bought it for about $500 or maybe less than that. The crazy thing is I sold it about 3 years ago, and my wife, who you may know, Sophie Parham, actually bought it back for me a year or 2 years later, and since then it's become my favorite guitar. What I did is I switched the pickups here, and pickups basically pick up the sound. These are Texas special pickups, and I swapped out the neck, and this is, I think it's called an oven roasted Fender Stratocaster neck made in Mexico. And man, this guitar is amazing, sounds amazing, and plays like butter. But this is my favorite guitar. For the electric. Now let me show you acoustic guitar. So if you want to rock out, you're probably going to want to go electric. If you want to strum around the campfire, you're looking at an acoustic guitar. The acoustic guitar sounds like this. So acoustic guitar, the really cool thing about the acoustic guitar is obviously it's portable. You don't need anything, you don't need an amp, you don't need to plug it in, you don't need electricity. So if you want to be portable, you want to play along the campfire, then yes, get yourself an acoustic guitar. A lot of people think that you should start on the acoustic guitar. I'm not so sure that's correct. I personally started on the acoustic guitar, and I spent a lot of years trying to play lead guitar type stuff on the acoustic guitar, and I ended up kind of doing damage to my fingers, and I had just wished that I wanted to play rock. I wanted to play with, bends and that sort of stuff, which I'll show you a little bit later, and it was kind of a waste of time, to be quite honest. I would have been so much better off just getting the type of guitar that was geared to the type of music that I want to play. That being said, the really cool thing again about the acoustic guitar is generally it's although there are more expensive models, you can get a reasonably priced acoustic guitar. I think this was like $300. It's an Ibanez acoustic guitar. I absolutely love it. And once you have it, you don't need any additional gear. All you need is your acoustic guitar. Unlike the electric guitar, and I should have mentioned this earlier, if you get an electric guitar, you're gonna need to have an amplifier. So you will need an amplifier, you will need a cable. Those are necessary. You also need electricity, I think that goes without saying, or there are battery operated amps. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I will give you my #1 favorite amp. It took me like 10 years to find this amp. It is amazing, it's portable, it's totally affordable. I had to like dig through all types of magazines and online forums to find it, and it's the stuff. So I'll provide that at the end of this video lesson. Okay, so we covered the different types of guitar. Let's talk about guitar sizes. I'm gonna look at my chart because some of you are familiar with my work. Maybe I taught your son or daughter how to play the guitar, and so you're maybe watching this to choose a guitar for your son or daughter. If that's the case, well, there's basically 3 different size guitars for kids. You can go with a half-size guitar. That's typically for kids between the ages of 5 to 7. Ages 7 to 10, you're going to look at a 3/4 size guitar. And 11 up, you're probably going to want to get an adult-size guitar. Now, those are super rough guides. The best advice that I have for you is go to the local music shop. Take your son or daughter with you if you're buying a guitar for your child, and have them try out the guitars. And same for yourself. If you're getting a guitar for the first time, you're probably going to want to try it out. And that actually moves me on to the third part of this, is what to look for in a guitar. You know, I mentioned like, this is my favorite guitar. Well, what makes it my favorite guitar? Why? I have 3 other guitars hanging up on my wall. Why aren't they my favorite guitars? Well, #1, you want a guitar that plays easy. And part of that is having the right action. So action is the string height. The higher the strings, the more challenging it is to dig in. So if you have really high strings, it's really hard to... It's really hard to dig in and get those bluesy lead lines with high string guitars. On the other hand, if your action is too low, it's also too hard. It's also really hard to dig in. It's hard to get vibrato, which is this. It's really hard to get vibrato. If your strings, the action is too low. And that's where a setup comes into play. If you find a great guitar and the action is too high or too low, let's say it's a really good guitar, and there are really good guitar deals out there. I could talk a little bit more about that. Gems, right? There are gems out there that are just amazing, but maybe the string height is a little too high or too low. In that case, you can get a setup. You have a luthier, who's somebody who works on guitars, to just change the string height of the guitar, and you can really take a guitar from the dead and really bring it to life. So you're looking for action. The next thing is stay in tune. Like this guitar, I almost never have to tune it, and it has a tremolo system, which is this thing right here. Sounds like, sorry. So that's a tremolo system or a whammy bar, and typically those guitars that have whammy bars don't stay in tune as well as those that don't have it. However, this guitar stays in tune all the time. I can literally not tune it for months. I typically do tune my guitar before every time I practice, but it's almost a waste of time because every time I look, it's perfectly in tune. So once again, you're looking for a guitar that has good string height, but remember that is adjustable. So if you find a really good Fender Mexican Strat like this somewhere, it's in good shape, well, sometimes it's worth it to actually pay to have a setup and have the string height adjusted to your liking. The other thing is you want it to stay in tune. If the guitar doesn't stay in tune, well, I would pass on that guitar. A guitar absolutely has to stay in tune. The other thing is the sound. I talked about, like, this is personal preference. personal preference. But I talked about these pickups. These are Texas special pickups. They're a little bit hotter than some of the other pickups, which means they distort. The note blossoms really beautifully without too much distortion. And so this is the only one of my guitars that has Texas special pickups, and they sound divine. So they sound amazing. So the other thing is tone. Eventually you're going to have the sound in your head that you're chasing, and you want to have a guitar that has that tone, and this guitar for me delivers the tone that I'm looking for. And once again, it stays in tune, and it's super, super, super easy to play. So that's what I look for when I buy a guitar. But I would love to know if you're more experienced. What do you look for when you're buying a guitar? Oh, I forgot to mention, it should be comfortable. The only knock on this guitar, there's just one slight knock, is it slides on my leg. And but it is comfortable. It should. So when you get a guitar, it should be comfortable. I have to say the new Fender Stratocasters, they've changed the body type, and the body type is unbelievably comfortable. So if you're looking to get a Fender Strat guitar, which I highly recommend, they have, I think it's called the Player Series, is their new made in Mexico model, fairly affordable, and the body is even more comfortable than this thing. But there you have it. Let me give you my number. I just only want to do 10 minutes today. We're doing little micro lessons. I see I'm at 11 minutes, so it's time to wrap it up. But I do want to give you my #1 super secret guitar amp. Not a lot of people know about this, but this thing is the boss. Although it's not a boss. Maybe that wasn't the right word there. It is the Yamaha Thr 32. This is like kind of the advanced model. It's the wireless Yamaha Thr 32. I also have a Yamaha Thr 10. To be quite honest, the 10 sounds amazing. It's a 10-watt amp. I don't know, maybe it's $300, but it is well worth it. It sounds incredibly professional. In some ways, the tone is almost, I shouldn't say this, but almost better than the 32. And the 32, the 30 is a bigger model. It's a 30-watt. It's louder. It's wireless. This one is, I think, about $500. But those prices change. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, there you have it. Today was day 1, how to choose the right guitar for you. Once again, you want to decide if you're going acoustic, you want to decide if you're going electric. That's based on your personal preferences and your goals. Next thing is sizes. If you're an adult, I'm assuming you're an adult watching this, you're probably and you're getting a guitar for yourself, you're going to want to get an adult size guitar. If you're going for kids, I'll post an image in the comment section of this live video, the chart that gives you the different sizes that I mentioned. And again, when you go to choose your guitar, you're looking for, #1, does it stay in tune? #2 is what's the string height like? How is the action? Is it playable? And #3, is it comfortable? And I gave you my super secret bonus. Don't forget to download your free 10-day guitar jumpstart. Join me tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 p.m. and I'll be covering how to set up your practice space. And also, I take requests, so if there's anything that you want to learn, you want to talk about, leave it in the comments section and I'll cover it in a future Facebook Live video. And remember, every guitar master was once a beginner. The more you practice, the better you will become. Rock!